What up, Pod Squad? Welcome back to another edition of Proper Like It's Hot. We'll do a quick recap of Week 7 and into Week 8. As always, hit that like and subscribe button. I know these lines move quick when I drop some of these props, so as always, appreciate you guys watching. Quick recap: Week 7, we split, so lost a little bit of juice, but we ended up going 2-2. We missed the Robert Tonyan over 33.5 receiving yards, and we missed the Austin Eckler over 59.5 rushing yards. Tonyan finished with 32 yards. Eckler turned his into a receiving game. So what can you do? The two we did hit was the Kyle Juszczyk over 11.5 receiving yards and the Josh Jacobs over 80.5 rush yards. So again, 2-2 split. Maybe lost a little bit of juice, but hey, on to Week 8. We'll see if we can cash some tickets. Some big names on the list this week, so hopefully we can enjoy those for Week 8. First one being Cooper Kupp. My official play is going to be over 7.5 receptions for Cooper Kupp. His yardage total sat at like 92.5. That felt a bit high for me, so I pivoted over to the receptions total. He's going against Jimmy Ward in the slot. And so for those that don't know, Jimmy Ward is actually kind of a converted safety, and he's moving over to that nickel position. So he's kind of playing out of position. And on top of that, Jimmy's actually coming off of a recent broken hand a couple weeks ago. So in this game, he's actually going to be playing with a club on his hand. So if you've seen like an offensive lineman or a defensive lineman that's playing with something broken, they have it truly fully wrapped, they don't have the finger dexterity. So you're going to put a club on his hand, playing against Cooper Kupp in the slot, potentially one of the best slot receivers, if not just the best receiver in the NFL period. That's a lot to defend, makes it a lot harder to break up a pass with that club on your hand. So give me the Cooper Kupp over 7.5 receptions for my official play. Moving on to another big name, I'm going to go with Tyreek Hill. I'm going to play both his receiving yards and his receptions over. So I'm going to play the over 84.5 receiving yards and the over 6.5 receptions. This man is getting a massive target share, and now he's playing against the Detroit Lions, who are one of the worst offensive against the pass in the NFL. In the weeks that Tua has played, Tyreek has gotten 12, 13, 4 when they played Buffalo, 14 and 13 targets. Again, that's Cooper Kupp type level. And now that they're playing the Lions, that's not going to go down anytime soon. He's cleared the 6.5 receptions in 6 of 7 games. Detroit is 22nd in the league at passing yards given up, and that actually drops to 30th when they're playing at home. So they actually give up more yards at home than they do on the road. This game also has the highest over-under in the Vegas odds on the slate at 51.5. So that tells us that Vegas is expecting big plays. We know Detroit's offense can be really good, and their defense is really bad. And now they're getting healthier on that offensive side for Detroit. They're going to get Swift back, potentially St. Brown back as well. So we can see a lot of back and forth scoring and big plays. Really bodes well for overs. So give me the over Tyreek Hill, 84.5 receiving yards, and the over 6.5 receptions. I'm sticking with the wide receivers. I'm liking the reception totals this week that I'm seeing. Pivoting over to the Jets, I'm going to go with the Elijah Moore over 2.5 receptions. This is a really minuscule number for somebody who last year was truly their alpha receiver. Granted, I know they got Garrett Wilson again this year, and seems to have a good connection with Zach Wilson. But I think this is going to be one of those games where it's kind of the squeaky wheel gets the grease, honestly. Corey Davis is out, so that means there's going to be some additional target share. And I really do think the Jets know that Elijah Moore is going to be a part of their future. They don't plan to trade him. They don't plan to sit him. So my guess is they're not going to completely eliminate him from the game plan and give him no targets like they did 2 weeks ago. This is going to be one of those games where they're going to try to pepper him early and often and say, hey, you're a part of our future. We want to make sure that you're here for the long term. We want to appease you. So again, it's kind of that old adage, squeaky wheel gets the grease. And I would not be surprised for this Elijah Moore over 2.5 receptions to cash even before halftime. My final play for the week is going to be out on Monday Night Football. I'm going to go with the Nick Chubb over 82.5 rush yards. The biggest key here is that there's a massive offensive line advantage for the Browns versus the Bengals defensive line. The Browns are not going to want to get in a shootout with the Cincinnati offense. They're going to want to control the clock. They're going to want to play to their advantage, which we all know is running the ball. Cincy is the middle of the pack in rush defense, but when they go on the road, that actually drops to bottom 7 in the league, and they're averaging giving up 141.5 yards per game. On top of that, with Kareem Hunt kind of rumored to be on the trade blocks, maybe he gets a few less carries to avoid potential injury. whether he's dealt or not, we could see something similar to like the James Robinson that we recently saw with the Jaguars. He's active, he plays a handful of snaps, but might not get the carries. So that's going to be soaked up back by Chubb. So give me my play of Nick Chubb over 82.5 rushing yards. As always, I appreciate you guys watching, and let's cash some tickets on Sunday.